Some data is missing in the table given below. Calculate the missing data and solve the questions based on the table. Now what is the table all about? The table given below shows the total revenue in rupees millions generated by 6 different superstores and the percentage contribution of different categories of products, which are packed food, healthcare, cosmetic, electronics, stationery and garments in the respective total revenue generated by the 6 superstores. The total revenue generated by all the 6 superstores is equal to 125 millions. So basically, if you observe the table, some of the values are missing. So the data says first find out the missing values and then answer the questions asked. Now the table is about 6 superstores: Small Bazaar, Hypomart, Tough Day, Less for More, Kubik, Shah and Alliance. And we are talking about 6 different categories of products, right? Packed food, healthcare, cosmetics, electronics, stationery and garments. Now the total revenue generated in millions is given for each of the superstores. Like total revenue generated by Small Bazaar is 45 millions, Hypomart 10 millions, right? Tough Day 5 millions, Less for More 20 millions. That for Kubik Shah is missing, but Alliance is 20 millions. And this part of the table talks about percentage contribution in total revenue generated. So percentage contribution by each of these categories, which means out of 45 millions that was generated by Small Bazaar, 10% came from packed food. Remember, all these are percentages. 10% came from packed food. 35% has come from cosmetics. 10% has come from electronics. 5% of 45 millions has come from stationery. 15% of 45 millions has come from garments. And so on. Similarly, let's say if you talk about, Tough Day, the superstore called Tough Day, right? The total revenue that they have generated is 5 millions. Now 25% of 5 millions came from packed food. 30% comes from healthcare. 5% comes from cosmetics. 10% comes from electronics. Some percentage comes from stationery and 20% comes from garments. Clear? So basically, this part of the table talks about the percentage distribution of this revenue among 6 categories: packed food, healthcare, cosmetics, electronics, stationery and garments. Now how do you find out the missing values? It's very simple. You don't even have to look at anything else. Just remember that total percentage should be 100 always. We are saying that 45 million in terms of percentage distribution is given here. So total should always be 100 for each superstore. Now look at Small Bazaar. Packed food is 10%. Cosmetics is 35%. Electronics is 10%. Stationery is 5%. Garments is 15%. Add these values. 10 plus 35. 45. 45 plus 10. 55. 55 plus 5. 60, 60 plus 15, 75. So if 75% comes from these different categories, remaining 25% has to come from healthcare. So basically total should add to 100. So that's what we are doing, right? Forget about this. This is in millions. Remember, this is all in million. So don't add 45 and say what is happening to percentage there. These are all in millions. Remaining value should add up to 100. So 35, 35, 70, 70 and 10 is 80, 80 plus 5, 85 plus 15 is 100. Similarly, find out the missing values for remaining stores as well. Like this is second one. 30 plus 25, 55 plus 15 is 60, 70, 70 plus 5, 75, 75 plus 10, 85. So this has to be 15, right? Third one, 25 plus 30 is 55 plus 5, 60 plus 10, 70 plus 20, 90. So remaining is 10. This is 30 plus 20, 50, 50 plus 10, 60 plus 10, 70 plus 5, 75. So this has to be 25. 10 plus 20, 30 plus 15, 45 plus 10, 55 plus 10, 65. So remaining is 35%. 20 plus 10, 30 plus 5, 35 plus 15, 50 plus 25, 75. So remaining is 25. But there's one more missing value. How do we get this one? The total revenue generated by Kubik Shah. How do we get this? See, in the data he has said that the total revenue generated by all the 6 superstores is 125 millions. That means this total, the vertical total should add up to 125 million. Yes or no? Now find out the balance value. 45 plus 10, 55 plus 5, 60 plus 20, 80 plus 20, 100. So this has to be 25 millions. You getting it? Done. So filling up these gaps would not take more than a minute, right? Only 7 values have to be found. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and this is 7. All are very easy. The totals in each row here should add to 100. So based on that you can find out the missing value. The total of this column should add to 125, based on which you can find out the missing value there. Once you have done it, then you can answer the questions easily, right? So let's move to the next slides now and look at the questions. So now I'll present you the questions one after the other. Let's quickly solve it. Now look, so missing values have been filled already, right? Because we have already done that exercise, right? So the data is complete now. Look at the questions. The first one, what is the percentage contribution of stationery products in the total revenue generated by the 6 superstores together? The percentage contribution of stationery products, right? In the total revenue generated by the 6 superstores together. See, total revenue generated by 6 superstores together is 125 million. We know this already, right? So out of this 125 million, what percentage comes from stationery is the question. Now, how do you have to solve this? Find out the revenue of stationery products from each superstore. Get the total revenue of stationery, then find out the percentage. Are you able to follow? He's basically asking us to find out stationery is what percentage of 125 million. So X is what percent of Y? X by Y into 100. So basically stationery revenue divided by 125 into 100 has to be done. Now how do you get the stationery revenue? 5% of 45 is the revenue for first store. 5% of 10 is the revenue for second store. 10% of 5. You're getting it? Out of this 5 million, 10% has come from stationery. Out of this 20 million, 10% has come from stationery. Out of this 25 million, 10% come from stationery and so on. So that calculation has to be done, right? Find out the revenue of stationery from each store, add the total stationery revenue, and then take the percentage of stationery revenue with respect to 125. Right? Now what we'll do is, remember, never try to find out the individual values first and then add all of them and then do X by Y into 100. That may consume a lot of time. Instead, first write the whole equation there. Like 5% of 45. So it's like 5 into 45 plus second store 5 into 10. When 5% of 10 is 5 into 10. Divide by 100, that will take common. Then 10 into 5. Right? Then 10 into 20. Then fifth store is 10 into 25. And the last store is 25 into 20. You're getting it? We have found the total stationery revenue, right? 5 into 45, 5 into 10, 10 into 5, then 10 into 20, 10 into 25, and 25 into 20. Divided by 100, of course. I mean, this is like 5%. So by 100, by 100, 10% by 100. So this 10% is 10 by 100, 10 by 100, 25. So we'll take by 100 common. So this is what total stationery revenue. What do you want? Stationery revenue out of 125 million. So X is what percent of Y? X by Y into 100. So this divided by 125. That means in the denominator you get 125 here. Multiplied by 100. See, the whole thing has to be multiplied by 100 because we are trying to find out the percentage contribution. So this into 100. You getting it? In the numerator we'll have into 100. I'm sorry, I don't have enough space here, but then this is what you need to do. So always write down in this format first and then do the simplifications. See, finding out 5% of 45 is not difficult. 5% of 45 is 2.25. 5% of 10 is 0.5. 5% of 10% of 5 is 0.5. 10% of 20 is 0.2. That also can be done, but I would not suggest that. First write down everything and then do the cancellations. All right. So what do you see here? This percentage of into 100 in the numerator and this 100 in the denominator will get cancelled. So basically we have to now simplify the remaining part of it. 5 into 45, 5 to... Again, don't try to multiply. If you see, smart way of doing the calculation is from each term here. There are 6 terms in the numerator. Right? And there is 1 term in the denominator. I think in each term 25 is common. In each term you can find 25 common. See, how do you do that? See, 25 is nothing but 5 into 5, right? So 5 into 5, let us cancel that way. You're able to follow. I am taking 25 common directly. You can cancel by 5 also. We can take 5 common in numerator and denominator. But instead of that, directly take 25 common. So one step gets reduced, right? Now how do you get 25 common out of it? See, 25 is 5 into 5. So this is 5 into 1. This is 5 into 9. This is 5 into 1. This is 5 into 2. This is 5 into 2 and this is 5 into 1. This is 5 into 2 and 5 into 4. Are you able to follow? I am taking 1 5 common from the first part of the first term and 1 5 common from the second part of the first term. Similarly for all the terms. Then 25 directly gets cancelled here, right? 25 into 1 and 25 directly gets cancelled. So that is what is left out. And in the denominator 25 goes 6 times. Sorry, 25 goes 5 times. Right or not? 25 into 5. So what is the simplified value now? See, 9 plus this is second term is 2. Third term is also 2. The fourth term is 2 into 4. 2 into 4 is how much? 8. Then we have 10 in the fifth term and 20 in the sixth term. That divided by 5. Now do the calculation. So 9 plus 2, 11 plus 2, 13. 13 plus 8, 21. 21 plus 30, 51. 51 by 5. How much is 51 by 5? 10.2. That's your answer. 10.2 percentage. Option E. You're getting it? So I think simple format. I mean, once you get the missing values, it's all about choosing the relevant values from the given question and doing the simplification there to arrive at the answer. Alright? Again, I have actually spent time in explaining the calculation to you, which could have been avoided, right? You have to do your own calculation. The only thing that I want to mention here is don't cancel by 5 first, then 5 by 5 once again. Directly cancel by 2 5s in each term. Because you know that every term is has got 2 components and each component is a multiple of 5. So 25 can be taken common directly. Right? And don't waste your time in finding out the actual values in the first step, then adding those values, then that by 125 and all that. It would take a lot of time. Alright? Is this clear to all of you? 10.2 percentage. Let's look at the next one. Here comes the next question. What is the ratio of the revenue generated by Tough Day from packed food products to the revenue generated by Kubik Shah from cosmetic products? Now this is a sitter, right? Tough Day from packed food. Tough Day packed food is how much? This is 25% of 5. So 25 into 5 I'll say. Because see, remember, percentage is common in both the terms. So that will get cancelled. Then Kubik Shah from cosmetic. Kubik Shah and cosmetics is 15% of 25. So 15 into 25 directly. See, 25% means 25 by 100. 15% is 15 by 100. So that by 100 gets cancelled. Now what do we see? 25 gets eliminated. We have 1:3. Right? Option A. Right? Next question. Now this is a big one. See what it says. In fact, I want all of you to tell me what have you done to arrive at the answer. I think many of you did not answer this question, but some of you did. And you said the answer is 11.625. So what did you do to get the answer? The question says, electronics products are further classified as home products and commercial products. Percentage contribution of home electronic products is half the percentage contribution of garment products in each superstore. So what is the total revenue in million generated from commercial electronic products? How many of you have followed this question first of all? Sandeep says he has skipped it. Amrendra has also skipped. So I think good decision. Those who have skipped it have, taken a good decision. Because out of 5 questions in data interpretation, usually 3 to 4 are very simple. One can be very, very complex. I mean, complex in terms of the number of calculations and, complexity in each calculation again. So this is of that kind, right? So you better skip it. Yeah, so I would say skip is one way to look at it. I mean, you can skip it for the moment, come back later whenever time permits. But let's say you have to do it now. So what do? Shubhadeep Bose said that he has followed it, but he thought it is better to skip this one. Yeah, so looks like many of you have skipped it. Let us solve it anyway. I mean, here we have to solve, right? So let's look at the solution. So the question says, electronics products are further classified as home products and commercial products. So these are the electronics products, right? They are further classified as home products and commercial products. Home products and commercial products. Okay. The percentage contribution of home electronic products. The percentage contribution of home electronic products is half the percentage contribution of garment products in each superstore. See, garment products is also given us in each superstore. So he says the contribution of home electronics is half of the garments contribution, right? The percentage contribution of home electronic products is half the percentage contribution of garment products in each superstore. What is the total revenue generated from commercial electronic products? What is the total revenue generated from commercial electronic products? So how do we do this? Look at this. See, I'll divide this electronics section into 3 parts. Home electronics. The third part is commercial electronics. And the middle part is total electronics. You're able to follow. This is total electronics. Okay. This is home electronics. This is commercial electronics. Now the question said that the percentage contribution of home electronic products, that means this first column, is half the percentage contribution of garment products in each superstore. Now, what is garments in the store? 15. So this should be half of 15. What is half of 15? 7.5. Now, if this is 7.5, this should be 2.5 because total is 10. See, total contribution of electronics products is 10% of 45. Out of that is 7.5 has come from home electronics. Remaining 2.5 will come from commercial electronics. Similarly, fill the remaining values. You getting it? Now, garments is 10. So home electronics will be half of this, 5. If this is 5, this would be 10. Here garments is 20. So this should be half of 20, which is 10. Now if this is 10, total electronics is also 10, this should be 0. Yes or no? Then garments here is 5, this should be half of 5, which is 2.5. So this will be remaining 7.5. Here garments is 10, so this should be half of 10, which is 5. So this will be 30. Here garments is 25, so this is half of 25, which is 12.5. So this should be 2.5. Okay, remember the left and the right columns will add to the middle column. So 7.5 plus 2.5 is 10, 5 plus 10, 15, 10 plus 0, 10, 2.5 plus 7.5 is 10, 5 plus 30 is 35, 12.5 plus 2.5 is 15. And what are these values? Half of the garments, 15 half, 7.5, 10 half, 5, half of 20, 10, half of 5, 2.5, half of 10, 5, half of 25, 12.5. Now he says what is the total revenue in million generated from commercial electronic products. Now I think you can do it. See, these are commercial electronics products. Total revenue generated from commercial electronics products. So 2.5% of 45 plus 10% of 10 plus 0% of 5 plus 7.5% of 20 plus 30% of 25 plus 2.5% of 20. Of course, you will get that in millions, right? He's asking us to find that in millions. So do that calculation and you'll get the answer, right? So I would like to skip the calculation. I'm sure you can do it yourself. Just take these percentages with respect to the total revenue for each store, add up all of them to get the commercial electronic products revenue. All right, 2.5% of, I mean, if you're strong in calculation, you can directly write down the values, but I would again say you better take all the values first and then do the cancellations. So 2.5 into 45 plus 10 into 10 plus 0 into 5 plus 7.5 into 20, right? Let me just write it. 2.5 into 45 plus 10 into 10 plus 0 into 5 plus 7.5 into 20 plus 30 into 25 plus last 2.5 into 20. Remember, all these were percentages, so divided by 100. Divided by 100. Are you able to follow? This is the numerator divided by 100 because it was 2.5% of 45, 10% of 10, 0% of 5, 7.5% of 20, and so on. Now calculation, I think I'll leave it to you. Do it yourself and you'll get the required answer. Let us go to the next one. The next question. What is the difference in million between the revenue generated by small bazaar from cosmetic products? Small bazaar, very small bazaar. Small bazaar from cosmetic products. And revenue generated by alliance from garment products. Revenue generated by alliance from garment products. So we have to find out the difference between these two, which again is very simple. 35% of 45, right? 35 into 45 minus 25 into 20. Difference between these two divided by 100. See, both were percentage, right? 35% of 45. So 35 by 100 into 45. 25% of 20. 25 by 100 into 20. Calculation is your lookout, right? You want me to do it? Take 25 common, like we have done in the previous case, right? Take 25 common. So this will be like 7 into 9, right? 5 into 7, 5 into 9. 25 when you gets cancelled, this is 4 times. So 7 into 9, 63. 63 minus 20 is 63 minus 20 is 43. So 43 by 4. 43 by 4 will be how much? 10.75. 10.75 million, of course. So option B is the answer. And quickly the last one. By what percentage is the revenue generated by Hypomart from electronic products more than the revenue generated by Less for More from garment products? So this is like X is what percentage more than Y. How do we calculate this? X minus Y by Y into 100. What is X in our case? Hypomart from electronics. Hypomart, I mean electronics contribution of Hypomart. And how much is this more than the revenue generated by garment products in Less for More? Garments in Less for More. So X is what percentage? More or less than Y. X minus Y by Y into 100. So 15% of 10 is one value. Minus Y. What is Y? 5% of 20 divided by Y. Again, do not do independent calculation. Don't try to find out 15% of, 15% of 10 is very simple, 1.5, 5% of 20 is also very simple, it is 1. But do not do that. Don't do that calculation and then substitute in the formula. Directly take everything in the formula, like 15% of 10 minus 5% of 20 by 5% of 20, x minus y by y into 100. The advantage is, see, first of all, you can skip this percentage based calculation. See, a smart person will not even write 15% of 10. He'll simply say 15 into 10 minus 5 into 20 by 5 into 20. Right? And then do the calculation. So see, 5 into 20, 100 and 100 anyway gets cancelled. You just have to take the difference of those two values. So 150 minus 100. How much is that? 50. Yes or no? So option A would be your answer. It is 50% more.